Hey guys, Electron Man. Well, I've got me a interesting project to do here. I'm not exactly sure where I got this. I think a buddy might have dropped it off to me. I'm not really sure where it originally came from, but it's in terrible condition. I mean, I don't know if they were trying to. I mean, it doesn't have the knobs. The standoffs are missing on it. All the screws are out of it. This don't make any rhyme or reason. I think that actually what it had is I think it had two 6 or 4 cell packs that set battery packs that set here and here, and I believe those plugged to these. Is my guess on that. I'm pretty sure. I got an owner's manual and it said battery packs, but I never saw a picture, so I'm guessing it was some type of. I know they were not 9-volt batteries, so it was some type of a holder that snapped into these and held the two batteries. Obviously, I don't have that. That and this whole case is just roached. I mean, completely roached. Looks like it was used for a wheel stop, you know, when they were doing an oil change. But anyway, the interesting part about it is I've already kind of worked on it, and it had one voltage regulator that was burnt out in it, and I've already replaced it. It was right there. Actually, I put it back in the case just kind of to show you the case, but I can go ahead and pull it back out of here. I say I can, but let me go ahead. Come on. There we go. Open her up. But yeah, I had to replace this voltage regulator right here. It was an easy fix, though, because as soon as I took it out this way, I looked over there, and there was a corner of the silicone blown out of it, and it had a hole in the middle of it, so I knew the transistor was blown. Hardest thing was finding something to work with it, and I actually found an old OEM part, same part number, and put it in it, and it resolved it. I'm sure what happened is they probably didn't understand how this thing works as far as the two battery packs, and they probably plugged two 9-volts in here and three 18-volts in, and that's probably what popped it. But anyway, long story short, I'm getting on this rambling about that. I wished I had done a video on the repair, but it was like, I got this, I was getting ready to throw it away, and I thought, well, I'll look at it, and I opened it up, and I'm like, well, I'll see what's blown in it, and then I got lucky and found a exact match transistor and put it in it, and plugged it in and started working, and I was like, well, you know, this is interesting. This might be worth something keeping. So this is where this whole project started at. And anyway, now we're to the point where, okay, the thing works. Amazingly, as rough as it looks, as bad as it's been abused, the silly thing still works. I guess it's a testament to MFJ. I know this is probably early on. It seems like some of their later stuff, solder work's not as good as this was and stuff. But anyway, I'm getting off subject here. Being as it works, but I don't know that I would have ever liked this one if I'd have bought it brand new, the MFJ 209, because I don't know if you know anything about SWR analyzers, but basically what you do is you hook your antenna lead up to it, and it tells you where your antenna's tuned at, and then from there you can, lengthen and shorten or whatever you need to do. Well, in this one, it goes from I guess 1.8 megahertz all the way to 170 megahertz, and you have a selector switch here for each one of those bands, like from 1.8 to 4 megahertz, 4 megahertz to 10 megahertz, and 10 to 26, and 26 to 62. So say you wanted to tune the CB antenna, you'd have it over here on that fourth mark, 26.2 to 62.5. You put it on there, and then you take this tune knob and you tune, and then it'll tune to where it shows you the lowest SWR is tuning on that band. Well, this thing right here, this scale, I mean, I need a microscope to even read it. From what I can tell, it just had a dial with a pointer here. So, I mean, it's not going to give you the accuracy you need to know. I mean, 26 to 30 is right there. So, how am I going to know it's tuning at 27,185, but it's high at 27,405, 350 kilohertz up? You'd never be able to tell it. So what they did, they knew that. So what they did is they added an external frequency counter output. So then you have this, and then you have an external frequency counter, and then when you tune it, it'll tell you the exact frequency that your antenna is tuning at, which makes sense. I know the newer ones all have a digital display with the frequency on it. I don't know. I mean, I guess they say that it creates a tone too, so I guess you could use a radio and tune a radio to maybe 26 or 27,185, and then turn this until you get the tone, in the radio receive, and that would give you what the current SWR is, and you could work it that way. But really the best way to do it is to have a frequency counter built into it. Well, since the box, anyway, I'm way off into here. Sorry guys, I don't want this to be a 20-minute video, but especially since I'm just kind of introducing you to my little project here. All the parts aren't in yet, but anyway, point is I love to have a little handheld SWR analyzer like this, but this thing, the case is shot and it's not everything I need. It's half there. So what I need to do is I need to add a frequency counter in it is what I want to do. So I went out on good old Amazon and found this case here. I did some measurements, and this unit right here will fit perfect in this case. And I thought I would be able to put this frequency counter I had on hand that I'd use for another project. Actually, I ended up with 2 of these, and I had an extra one, and I was going to use one of these little frequency counters. You can go back and look at the homemade frequency counter I made, and these aren't bad. Their sensitivity's not bad, but anyway, the idea is to like mount it right above the meter, and then the meter, and then have the tuners here, and then basically I'd have the same thing as this, except I'd have a built-in frequency counter. Well, lo and behold, my case is too dang narrow for the frequency counter to fit in. And if I mount it this way, it's going to be dorky, because then it's going to be, you'd have to tune it here and then turn it. Anyway, I just wouldn't, I'm OCD. There's no way I could stand having a sideways meter with a vertical meter. It's just not going to work. So one of the things I've ordered is I found I think it's a 1" by 1" frequency counter for under $20 that I can mount on this case. So the idea is I'll mount the meter, and then I'll have the frequency counter either above it or below it, cut the holes out in the case, and then of course put a central battery to power them both, and have what I want for. I got this for free, so I got no money in that. And so far I've got, I think, $7 in this plastic case and $20 in LCD meter. So if I can get under $30 and have a really cool SWR analyzer, it'll be a win-win for all of us, right? So anyway, this is the start. Like I said, I'm just now getting the parts together offline. I don't think you need to see me cutting holes, so I'll probably go ahead and try to get figured out where I want to mount this inside the box and get all the external holes cut and get it mounted inside the box, and then we'll come back and do the wiring, and I'll do the assembly. I'll do the cutting out of it, and then we'll do the assembly with you guys. Anyway, guys, hopefully you enjoy this series. It's going to be called the MFJ SWR Analyzer Rebuild and Improvement video. Have a great day. This is Electron Man. If you haven't already, please subscribe to my channel, give me a thumbs up, and hit that like.